5. So this is Denasia Ballard. I really like her site. Again, obviously she's using Bootstrap to, I want to tell you a story real quick. So a week after the students were first introduced to Bootstrap, right, they did their sites for the Englewood Arts Festival, and then there was like a weekend. Then they came back on Monday, and they had to present to the client, so they were going back to Bootstrap, the Bootstrap webpage, to like make sure everything was right, and it was changed. It was like Bootstrap 3 RC1. They're like, it's purple, and it's you know. I was like, whoa, this is crazy, right? So what do we do? You know, so they stayed with Bootstrap 2. I was like, you don't have to change all your code. You can stay with Bootstrap 2. So we went through that, and then we had a check-in. Each team had to decide moving forward for demo day, for their team website and their individual websites, right? Will you stay with Bootstrap 2, or will you move to Bootstrap 3? What are the pros and cons of that decision? 4 teams decided to stay with 2. 1 team said, we're going for 3, right? So, right? But the ones with 2 were like, we already have like this base of code. Of course, Kai was like, already got this like thing I'm building, everybody's using. I'm just gonna stay, you know. So it was cool, right? So as you see, this is the Go-Getters, Englewood Arts Festival, a screenshot of their page. They have since, go ahead, and so this is a carousel, so that's why we did JavaScript. That was like, and then we stopped. That's the team, the Go-Getters. One of the best teams, I think, of the project. It's really cool because Brian's an excellent leader, but he's not the technical leader, right? Denasia and Kamara are the strongest coders. He knows how to step back and let them lead. He knows how to come in and bring everybody back together, right? Very mature leader, right? He's at Paul Robeson High School, which is on nobody's list of great schools, right? But he is an amazing leader. Kamara is at Lindblom, and this is them working on their wireframe. Keep going. So this is Denasia's website. She hand-coded this all by herself with the help of Twitter Bootstrap, right? So it's pretty exciting. She has like her nice pinks here, you know, like a whole gradient. Really exciting. You see how, go back to the last, right? You see how serious he looks? You see him? He looks like this project manager. It's just like, you can kind of see the stress on his face, like, come on, really? Like, really going, right? So it's pretty exciting. There's Denasia over here, like, out front handling like the broad structure. Let's go to Marquise's website. So this is him. He has this whole site. So he has this button. I'm not sure what it does. Click it, see what happens. Oh, wow. Okay. So he just used the button to go to a link. There we go. Scroll up. Take a look at his resume. He has one of the better formatted resumes. So this brings up the question of leadership. So it was not enough to just teach code. We have to teach leadership, right? Like, you know, what does it mean to present yourself? And so they did it was one of the better weeks. They learned about a resume, right? They formatted a resume in Word, and then I came in and was like, all right, code it in HTML. They're like, oh, unordered lists, list items, right? H4, H3, right? Like, so doing all this cool stuff is really exciting. So they were marking up their resumes with pencils, right? And then writing the code, right? So that's the idea of markup. And so Marquise has his links to social networking. And we all know that GitHub is social coding, so you know he's on Facebook, Twitter, and GitHub, right? Which is pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. And this is his stuff, right? So
8 followers. Look at all those commits. 500. Over 500.
Right. So we have 20 some odd teams in Englewood that are making commits on.
You need to tell him to work on his commit messages.
Yeah.
Like you've never done it.
So it's I was like, you should make notes to yourself.
I think it's also because they're editing on the web in GitHub.
Yeah.
And that's the
this is a test loop. And they, I will say this: they've been taught how to create a branch, how to merge it. I think some just say, I'm just gonna add NGH page, just keep it moving, right? But that's that. I did say, look, y'all, this is real. Like, people can look and say, oh, you're doing it wrong, you know. But right, but let's go to Kai Massey. So before he had all this crazy like lightning stuff like this, you know. Before that it was like this road moving, it's like these GIFs. It was like, what is going on as a background, you know, checkered, right? Over and over again. It's just too much. Right? But click on my bio. Right? And that's Kai, always looking way too slick. Go ahead and let's see what's going on in his carousel. There we go. This is, I guess, his baby pictures and stuff. Check this out. Click that. That's his JavaScript button. Let me just say that I know we're probably still recording. So when we taught JavaScript, this said meet JavaScript, right? Okay, watch out, they're not using the same. And so the name was JavaScript, right? My nickname, JS, right? Extension, JS creator, what is it? There we go, right? Right? The whole guttural thing. And then year 95, the day we taught JavaScript, we had a whole playlist of hits that came out in 95, right? Like Candy Rain, and, you know, This Is How We Do It, you know, and all this other stuff, right? So it was pretty cool. So they were jamming and trying to learn JavaScript at the same time. So it was pretty fun, right? So they've used some of the code they've used and learned, and I've made no changes to it. I was like, extension, what are you? You're a human being, you know? Like, make that like your, you know, GitHub profile name. You don't change it, right? So he insists on embedding, you know, YouTube videos in his site with music. Go ahead and go to Samaya. Samaya actually joined our project like after a halfway point, right? She was part of another internship program we have. She was a little bored, so we brought her in. We had space for her. And she learned very quickly, right? And so this is a picture of one of our leadership sessions. Look at that room and look at that like gigantic projector, right? It was really cool. Scroll down, you can see her, she created like this container and a well with this background. So yeah, these are some of the better sites. So it's pretty cool. Like it's just really fun to see the students like bring all of themselves with like their coloring and, you know, design swag to the table. Yeah, she was saying, you know, web codes. I was like, no, code is a noun and a verb. It is singular and plural, right? Like it is everything, right? And so she went and made some basic changes. So these are some of the sites, and we will be featuring all the sites on the 29th of August. So thank you for your time, and thank everybody who backed the project, and we're going to keep sailing on into fall. So
awesome.